excited about this next group. There's going to bring a whole new meaning to the word squeaky toy, right? And what's the new suggestion? History for kids, teaching kids history. Okay, so teaching kids history. This group is called they've got a great name. Ready? It's very apropos to this evening. We forgot where we parked. So I'm going to introduce the improv team. We forgot where we parked. Come on, let's give them an applause. All right, you guys, one at a time, your name and an interesting fact about you before you get started. And I'll help you out with your game, too.
Oh, okay. I'm Ryan. My
name is Stephanie, and a fun fact about me is I raised rabbits, and one is my state fair.
I'm Bill. I'm 22 years old. I've been married once to the same woman for 48 years.
I'm Jason, and I don't know why I'm here.
Ashley, and I hiccup really loud.
I'm Lou, and I do pet sitting.
I'm Raymond, and I've been in IT for 30 years.
Okay, this first game is called Slideshow. And I'm going to turn it over to, now we have a very special guest tonight. This is Dr. Blue. Say hi to Dr. Blue. Hi, Dr. Blue. She is going to, she's so intelligent. She's traveled all over the world. She's written many books and a lot of poetry as well, and many songs that are in the top 40. And she is going to tell you about one of her journeys, one of her travels, one of her explorations, one of her studies. I think that what we need tonight is we're going to learn a little bit more about how they're teaching kids history now. I believe that's the new topic that everybody's excited about. So would you mind giving us some...
Not at all.
We have some slides. We're going to show some slides, and she's going to tell about the story. So give her a round of applause one more time.
Excited that you all could make it this evening, especially the children, because the show is really about you and the history of Kenmore. So as you know, you live in Kenmore, don't you? Very good. That's going to help a lot. It'll make your dreams a little sweeter. Well, we're going to have a little slideshow, and we're going to start at the very beginning of Kenmore's history, which is 1889. So, Claudia, could we have the first slide, please? 1889 is the year, and these are investors that just landed on the Puget Sound. So Kenmore at that point was nothing but a dense forest. And there was creatures hiding in the woods. Now some men came ready to take the elk out and, the foxes and deer. But it was 1889, so we must remember, we had your spiritual people that came on the most northern shores of Lake Washington. I didn't know that Kenmore is actually at the northernmost point of Lake Washington. So, Claudia, the next slide too, please. Now, the work was very, very hard, as you can guess. And of course, there was a little falderall banging around, but the trees needed to be fallen and the mills started, because Kenmore first became known as a mill town. So now you had your people that worked hard and then partied a little hard. And you had your little screwball fellas always playing tricks on one another. And we have a bit of a sad sack, and And the people that are still just enamored with the stars and the constellations in the skies. Oh, I tell you, this is one of my favorite slides. But going on to slide number 3. Now here in slide number 3, you know, some of these people came from very far away, like Boston and Minnesota. So it was quite the mixture of people here in Kenmore, which I think makes the town look so interesting. You know, we had our sumo wrestler, and she was from somewhere on the East Coast, and then we had our little fallen gal from a brothel in Butte, Montana, as the wagons came through, and she was going to put a brothel in Bothell. We decided not to, so here we all are. We've got our figures, our school teachers. Oh, Kenmore was really shaping up to be one fabulous town. And now slide number 4, please. Now, after World War II, when the people came back from that war, believe it or not, was a time that Kenmore really kicked it in gear. I mean, success was everywhere. We were starting to build homes and prosperity was abound. And there, from down in Canada, came a lovely couple named John and Annie McMasters. And guess where they lived in Canada? Kenmore, Canada. So they were so homesick, they decided to name this little town, this little village that was going to bring so much prosperity to everyone, Kenmore. So just poo-poo with Woodinville and Bothell. They were already building brick buildings and they had paved streets. But Kenmore was going to stay down to earth. And then that it did. Its peoples were so friendly and so neighborly, and no one ever went without in Kenmore. Oh, and could we just go back to slide number 2? I skipped something so important. Right, now this is when the mills started, you know, and believe it or not, women worked the mills. It was a very progressive town, even for the early 1900s. Very impressive. And at this point, does anyone have any questions? Just shout them out. Anything? Got the cat got your tongue up? Yes.
What are they looking at?
That is, now she was an astronomist from Massachusetts, and it was the stars, and then later he opened up a pastrami shop. So, I mean, at this point, they're just enamored with the constellations out here. I mean, the Pacific Northwest. They may say Montana has a big sky, but ooh, our sky out here is fabulous. Great, and for our final slide, please. Oh, this is my favorite. Groups coming together. You know, we had families of 3, you know, 2 husbands and 1 wife. Traditional families. The brothel owner now opened up a yoga studio. So we were all very happy when that came about. And then you have your very, you know, quiet and contemplating thinkers, like the gentleman in the center of the slide. I mean, Kenmore just had everything, and it still does. So children, do continue your lessons in history. Just like Kenmore, we've come a long way.
Okay, the next one they're going to do is called Genre Story. So what they're going to be doing, Jason is going to conduct them the story. When he puts his pointer finger, whoever is pointed at needs to start talking, and if the finger leaves someone, they have to stop talking. They're going to tell a story as one person, so they have to complete each other's sentences, and they have to take it from beginning to the end. And to make it tougher, they're going to have a genre. So I'm going to need some help. We're going to need you can pick comedy or drama, or country, or what was that?
Western.
Western. He is Western. Let's say, how about for her?
Sci-fi.
Science fiction. Okay.
Comedy.
Comedy.
Musical.
Musical. All right. Thank you. Okay.
Rom-com.
Romance. Romance. Okay, you gotta be okay with it. All right. And now finally our suggestion. Do we need another suggestion? We need a made-up movie title.
Don't touch that with your finger.
What was that?
Don't touch that with your finger.
Don't touch that with your finger! Thank you.
Well, this all started back in 1881. And these three wiseacres came into town who liked to touch things with their fingers.
What it was, the beautiful box of chocolate. The chocolate came out of the dumpster, so who knows what it is. Quite romantic for it. Had to take them out and have a look at them.
Oh, Julia, these chocolates are so wonderful. We need to go find a boat and be sleepless while we eat these chocolates.
But these people couldn't sail at all, so they totally tipped overboard. They're splashing around, life jackets nowhere to be seen. Idiots, save the chocolates and life jackets.
And while they was a-drowning, they kept saying, you know, we got to get out of here and do something, because this just ain't gonna work for us, because we're not gonna survive it.
Hey, Julia, I'll send you an email as we drown. We may be sleepless, but we're not dead yet. I'm sure there's something else in these chocolates. Oh, look, it's a banana slug. I'd like to touch that with my finger, too.
Banana slugs, they're so beautiful, and they always make me think of carrots in the spring. Oh, Lord. Oh, so wonderful.
Why, they were dog paddling in the water because the boat sunk. They saw these glimmering, shiny things. And of course, they just couldn't help but stick their fingers in the starfishes, which then totally encumbered them and sucked their bodies all up, and they became starfishes.
Roll out the starfish! Roll out the starfish! Yay!
And as they were rolling starfish, they were creating these magical patterns and bumping into each other because they couldn't see, because they no longer had eyes. And they were getting their tentacle things, tentacles are big arms. They were getting them all tangled up, and then they couldn't get free. And so they were just very sad starfish, and they looked like
Yeah, these here are not as sad starfish. They just floated around and got all depressed because they was in a big tangle, all because somebody couldn't help but touch something.
But there was a beautiful moon out on the ocean, a beach fire glowing out across the sea. And it made the starfish realize how lovely life was and how good it was to be alive.
And so, this little group of people that became starfishes, with all their different colors and sizes, decided to name this little village Starmore.